Well, good morning, everybody. Another live. We had quite a few yesterday, but today is the 28th of April. And where's Abhilash and what's his ETA and all the rest of it? And also Captain Goog and Jeremy still out on the course. I'm going to quickly go through that. Right now, we're on a different timeline because at 10 o'clock this morning, which is when Lasab's time, when I usually do the live, we're actually involved with the press conference, the official press conference for yesterday, for Kirsten arriving and what looks like to be winning the GGR. We don't know. We were all sort of hooked up in the whole thing, but it was a provisional finishing time yesterday, about 9:45. Seb's got the official timeline there, and that's provisional until we add in the two subjects. One is the credit for the efforts that Kirsten made to rescue Tapio, and the other is the fuel penalty, if there is any fuel penalty. So they're actually over at the dock now doing the fuel calculations, and that'll be announced at the or filling up with fuel, and then the final finishing official time for Kirsten will be announced at the press conference. Now, we're in the Sable d'Olonne. They're great partners, and the community, just grab the GGR. The community here in the Sable d'Olonne is fantastic. The city of the Sable d'Olonne is fantastic, and so yes, there's a lot of French going on right now, and it's just amazing that Kirsten speaks not only English but also French and Finnish, and I think a bit of Spanish and things like that. So it's pretty heavy action for the French side, and the press conference will be a bit of a mix of French and a little bit of English. So then we haven't asked Kirsten yet, but sometime today we hope to have a bit of a conversation, a bit of a chat with Kirsten and two other women. Okay, I'm off the scene. We figured last night there were, as Seb pointed out, there was a lot of men talking about one solo woman, and so I thought this morning, we should have a bit of a chat with Kirsten and just leave it from the with two women. So anyway, we'll see two other women, which will be quite a bit of fun. Maybe we haven't scheduled a time, but look out for that. Anyway, so where is Abhilash and what's going on the rest of the course? Sadly, Abhilash has been struggling with the breeze right now, and we'll go into that in a minute. But he's only doing 1.9 knots still, so that's the name of the game, as we saw as Kirsten was coming into the finish last night. We all know about yachts and being becalmed and pulling your hair out by the roots. And I'm sure Abhilash is getting a bit frustrated there, but what the heck, that's sailing. I'm trying to go smaller here so I can find Captain Goog. He's got a bit of weather coming, but I think he's going to miss it. So we'll talk about that in a sec. And for Jeremy, he's, where is he? Here he is. Okay, so he's still plodding along in the trades, and 5.7 knots. He did 82 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, so can't really complain about that. He's holding pretty high. You can see there the breeze coming down in this direction, which is it's really high. If this is correct, he's holding about 50 degrees apparent, bouncing around in the waves and making pretty good progress. You can't complain about 5.7 knots there. So the sea might be looking pretty reasonable as well. So we come forward 24 hours into the 29th, more again of the same, although the breeze looks as if it's hooking further back to a true northeast instead of a little bit of north in it. And then we go through to 48 hours, near enough to there. That's a bit over, starting to lighten off a bit, but he's still got this sort of northeast trade effect for sure. So doing what you do in the trades, and he'll be happy to catch up here. Let's just see how far he is behind Goog. Goog's, where do we go here? So, okay. 11, about 1,200 miles. Roughly 1,200 miles behind Goog, so that's about maybe 10 days, 10 days sailing for when we start working out ETAs for Goog, which will be after Abhilash. So so this low pressure system here is influencing everything that's going to happen to Captain Goog over the next few days, but we'll come back to real time weather now, and he's making the most of it. He's aiming straight for the Azores now. You can see his course over here. He's got it just after the beam, which is nice sailing, and he's doing 5.6 knots, and he did 117 nautical miles in the day. So he's trucking along. Conditions would be really nice there right now. It's probably 15, 20 knots, maybe 2 meter seas Sun might be shining. Let's have a look here, see what he's got. Clouds, boom, boom. Yeah, he's got a bit of blue sky, a bit of cloud up over here. We're not worried about water these days. We know he's got plenty on board, so that's okay. And waves will be quite pleasant. I mean, oh, it's building up. Okay, so this low is sending a swell out, so he'll have a bigger swell than what's represented by the wind that's pushing the whole thing up. So this swell's coming from the big low pressure system north of him. So, and as we go into that, let's look at what happens here. We'll get this out of the way and hit that, and I'll just toggle that through, see what's going. He's running along the bottom of it. There's something developing out to the west of him. What's going to happen here? It's starting to head his way. This is interesting. Okay, so that's 24 hours from now. So 24 hours from now, he's got a following breeze. He'll be hooting along. He'll be up here somewhere. He'll probably do 120-mile days. We'll just see where he's going to be on that to see where it is. That's 200 miles. So I'm going to build this up a bit so we get a better look to see if we need to give him a weather report today. He's going to be down probably around about there. So he's going to be about here by this time tomorrow. So we can get rid of that and then see what happens toggling through. Yep, it's starting to head in. That's by the time he gets there, it's picking up to about that's probably 25, gusting 30, maybe a bit more. But it looks like it's fading away. So he's going to get some heavy weather, but nothing to be alarmed about. Nonetheless, we'll have a look at that. And it moves very fast past him. Then he's got great breezes. He'll be going flat out there. But the sea will build up because there's the bigger one. There's those two systems that are creating issues, or they're joining into one big one by the look of it. So yeah, he's going to build maybe 3-4 meters. Wind's all behind him, and he'll be hooting along. So we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, his speeds are going to be pretty good. So what's his distance from Abhilash right now to give you approximate timing for when we come up with an ETA for Abhilash? 1,600 miles. That's a couple of weeks. So we're not quite 14. Maybe I'd say a couple of weeks when you factor in that the Biscay is going to create its own weather once again, which you all know about now. So he's going to be a couple of weeks behind Abhilash when Abhilash gets in. So all is okay there. Now, what's going on with Abhilash? Let's just pick that up into the Biscay. Not a lot. You can see Kirsten just missed it by an hour or so getting in, and then drifted for about 3-4 hours. But I got to say, that whole thing sitting out there as she's coming in was quite pleasant. We were only out there for an hour, but some of the other boats had been beside her for about 3 or 4 hours. Anyway, supremely frustrating because Abhilash was really flying, hooked in, maintained that 100-mile connection to Kirsten all the way through, and then of course he parked. And that was pretty much the end of the story at that point. And the forecast is still really quiet. So he's doing 1.9 knots at the moment, drifting along. You can see the course. He's been a bit all over the place, just drifting around. Fortunately, he's not in the main shipping lanes, but there's still ships out there. Visibility was low. It might be clearing now because it's coming from the north. Let's have a look at the clouds. The visibility, no, it's still a bit waffly here. I think this means that it's sort of not fog, but hazy. Right, you can see the difference there. We've got sun here now, it's a bit cloudy looking out the window, and but it could burn off. Today's going to be a bit of a sunny day in Les Sables d'Olonne, I think. And can Abhilash make it in before then? So coming back to the wind, we can follow it through, see what happens. How far away from Les Sables d'Olonne is he? Let's look at the tracker. That'll give us an indication. So Kirsten's in, finished, and Abhilash is showing 97 nautical miles still to the finish, still to go. And as I mentioned yesterday, Kirsten parked, but Abhilash had already stopped around about the same time because she was going into this about 120 miles in front of Abhilash, but then they both pretty much parked at the same time. So he hasn't made a lot of progress overnight. And in fact, it's saying 81 nautical miles. Anyway, so he's still got about 100 miles to go. And the weather, let's just toggle it through now. You can see there's not much there. And what is there is from the north. Oh, we're not moving. Hit that. Okay, so we're rolling through very soft. but it is starting to come in from the north. That's probably worth about, for boat speed, what you're seeing there, which is in about 2 or 3 hours. No, that's actually midday. So that's middle of the day. He's probably doing 3 or 4 knots then, middle of the day, picking up to 5 knots in the green there. 5 knots, but there's not a lot there. Maybe, yeah. But we're already, that's the end of the 28th. So I'd say that as an average speed there, he's probably going to do, yeah, maybe that's midnight. I'm going to go through for 24 hours and see what's happening here. Yeah, they're going to be 4s there, 4 knots. This is early hours of the morning, but then it's coming across on the nose here. So the wind is swinging from the north. It's going around to the northeast, which is right on the nose. So prior to that, he'll be able to take it on one leg on the port tack. But then by the time he gets there, he'll be pushed down around here somewhere, and then he'll have to think about tacking back. But this is 7:30. This is a daylight tomorrow morning, and then it's still on the nose, but very light. Light on the nose is okay, but it's drifting off. This is sort of close to what Kirsten had yesterday, especially coming in close to La Sable d'Olonne, and that's at 9, 10. That's at 11:30. So I reckon you'll be pushing it to do a 100-mile day there. So it could be around midday tomorrow. We'll have a look again late today. We'll do another update late today, but for now, I'll keep saying Saturday morning. All right. So the official ETA for Abhilash is going to be Saturday morning late Saturday morning, but it could extend over that. And as I say, we'll come back and update that tonight, and then we'll update it very early in the morning as well. His timings are still on 2 hourly, I think it is. Yeah, the 6 o'clock. So that's 2 hour time, 2 hourly timelines. Okay. So that's about it. We'll look forward to seeing Abhilash cross the line sometime tomorrow, and I think it'll be back to sometime late morning, maybe midday or something like that. I'll have a quick scan through the comments here, see if anyone's asking. Great to see Kirsten Simon back. Yes, Simon came in, of course, yesterday. We did the big hoo-ha, so he's happy about that. Great photos, great videos. The live was okay. There was a few technical issues again. Funniest one last night was when Kirsten steps off the boat, step ashore for the first time. I dropped the mic in the water. That caused some chaos, but anyway, might just sail my boat down to Copenhagen too. So good idea. June the 24th is the big prize giving. Morning, got to watch history. Yeah, sure did. We're over 100,000 views on the lives. For the main live, which went for an hour, it was Ada and I, Jean-Luc and Yannick and Jane with the camera work and things. It was all crazy time sitting there for an hour, but it was a really quite a nice atmosphere where it was like you were out at having a party or something. It was kind of fun. But anyway, 100,000 people have been into it on Facebook and YouTube, which is great. So thanks to all the followers for that. Good to see. Trackers will continue as usual, even after bayonet. I think that question there from Sunny is, can you always go back? Yes, you can video replay the tracker, of course, anytime. You can go right back to the start in La Sable d'Olonne. The video controls are on the bottom, that little strip along the bottom here. You can replay that and it'll stay. You can even go back to 2018. The tracker is still there. We asked Yellow Brick to leave it up and they do, so it's quite fun. Morning, Don. We watched them yesterday. Yeah, it was good fun. Thanks for that, Claire. Good morning. No questions. Just scanning through. No, that's it. So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you for the press conference in about half an hour. Jane's doing the live on that, couple of cameras, and then there'll be press releases, and we'll look forward to try and coordinate this interview with 2 other women, and I'll be able to watch it instead of talk it with Kirsten, but we haven't asked her yet, and so we'll schedule a time that suits her. She's going to be really busy. She already has been busy, so she's been doing interviews with massive media, by the way, massive, and it's going to continue. She's an amazing lady. It's an amazing finish to not finish, but for her to win the GGR. Awesome stuff. So, yep. Okay, that's it. I'm supposed to put this one on first. We'll see you tomorrow on the tracker, and look forward to welcoming Abhilash and Bayonet.